Bill Geist has been to a show of the weird and wonderful cartoons of Charles Addams. How's the show?
It's great, Charles. It was a lot of fun, and I just want to say this morning that you always said this job was going to be fun. You may have forgotten the conversation, but you called me about 7 years ago when I was a perfectly discontented newspaper columnist, as columnists are supposed to be. And you said, come on along, and you were calling from some payphone in a swamp in Louisiana or so, I imagine. And you said, come along, it'll be easy, and thanks to you, it has been easy. You've kind of elevated everything we've done here on the show, and you said it would be fun. That was the grabber right there. You didn't say that we'd have the best retirement package in the industry or anything like that. You said it would be fun, and it's been fun, and I just wanted to thank you this morning, and thanks for the great adventure and the wonderful ride. On to the next stop.
Normally, there is no talking allowed in a library, let alone laughter. Not so these days at the normally august New York Public Library, where record crowds are coming to see cartoons. The caption on this one reads, "It's the children, darling, home from camp." These are the collected works of the late Charles Addams.
The wonderful thing about all of these cartoons is the nonchalance. That's probably where his real genius lies. There's that subtlety and that sort of ease and that sense of something where you suddenly go, oh my God.
As in this one. Richard's tweed suit, gray jacket, summer formula. And there's Richard.
Richard, exactly. Head back more towards the...
Paul Rudnick seems the perfect guide. The writer grew up an Addams fan and wound up with the same fiendish sense of humor.
They were so subversive and so evil, especially I think when you're a child, to find something that's so not good for you and so unwholesome.
Charles Addams penned his first cartoons for the New Yorker magazine in the early 30s. It was the ultimate forum. A lot of us subscribed just for the cartoons.
That is neat. That is really funny.
Any of the cartoons that revolve around children I found particularly delightful because they didn't have that cutesy pink and blue Peter Rabbit attitude towards Charles. I think he saw them as supreme beings, as far more intelligent than most adults because they weren't hampered by ethics or manners. It was more, no, childhood was a time for murder without conscience.
Addams turned things topsy-turvy, humanizing animals. The caption here reads, "For goodness sake, stop that chattering and let your father think," or animalizing humans, rendering them Lilliputian or monstrously large. The caption here, "Better let them play through, Hartley." He altered them any way he saw fit.
Charles Addams also had a great sort of reverence for anyone with more than the normal number of limbs.
What sort of a man was Charles Addams? Well, we know one of his favorite boyhood activities was tormenting his grandmother. We know he liked cemeteries. He was married in a pet cemetery, and we know he liked parties. He held a big one right here at this library for 250 of his closest friends who danced to a Dixieland band after he died.
Charles Addams was born in 1912 and immediately transplanted to this funereal floral arrangement.
We used to hang out here on rainy days. And
He grew up in Westfield, New Jersey, where Apostle Ron McCloskey is a kind of unofficial Addams historian.
In here?
Yep, go right ahead.
Don't tell you, Charles Addams slept here?
I don't think so.
But as a boy, he did draw this skeleton, or so Ron says.
It's done in chalk and in pencil.
Wow.
It's almost life-size. I think it's over 4 foot tall.
Addams walked to school past houses like this one, which Ron says influenced his work.
This was one of the places where Charles Addams used to come to a lot when he was a little boy.
He was a little ghoulish.
Oh, sure, definitely. No, he was not your ordinary boy.
think he was a product of a very suburban era, where he saw the dark corners in the GE home of tomorrow. You know?
So husbands and wives were a great
theme.
Well, I like this one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Charles Addams saw murder as the natural outcome of any suburban marriage.
This caption reads, "Wallace, isn't that already too deep for Glads?" Addams actually did have his wistful moments. Occasionally, he was almost sentimental.
Charles Addams was not in no way opposed to love and romance. He just enjoyed it when it happened to extremely unlikely people.
As a grown-up, Addams was known to friends as a jovial man, but then...
I know that he did also collect medieval firearms, all of which were kept in working order. Yes. He's clearly a very, very happy man. You know, he's not some embittered recluse.
No.
He's just gleefully satanic.
They're creepy and they're kooky.
An Addams boom occurred in the 1960s with the arrival of the Addams Family TV series.
I am Mrs. Addams.
I love your dress. It's so tight.
Thank you.
Addams keeps coming back to haunt us, these days at the movies. Paul Rudnick wrote the screenplay for the current one, Addams Family Values.
Isn't he a lady killer?
Acquitted. Fresh air.
It was wonderful to write something where you didn't have to tack a moral onto the end. You didn't have to say, you know, and when you cheat, you're only cheating yourself, Billy.
Rudnick says Addams is needed now more than ever.
Oh, he's the godfather of all political incorrectness. They are bad taste incarnate, and therefore to be treasured.
Awash in saccharine greeting cards, designer jelly beans, and balloon delivery services, those industries of enforced cheer, it becomes necessary, every so often, to pour a little boiling oil on the carolers.
What now?
Who's Etienne?
Who cares? Come on.
Etienne fix everything.
Who's Etienne?
He's a camel repairman.
What?
He's a mechanic.
You're kidding.
Hope he takes credit cards. Oh, he does.
Visa Gold.